We welcome in James Ham here. It's the one KC on KIFM West Sacramento, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. Hammer, got Kings basketball going on tonight. Jesse brought up tomorrow night.
No, tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow against Denver at the Golden One Center. We had a conversation. I'm not trying to start a fight. I promise. We just did a little research earlier.
Bring it on, Willie. Go ahead.
I asked Jake, what's he looking for when he watches Kings games this year? And the first thing he said was Keegan. And that's fine. That's kind of a regular response. And, then comes Keegan being aggressive, and maybe that'll be better when DeMar and Zach are gone, and maybe plays need to be schemed for him instead of him just getting leftovers. We did some research, man, and we found one stretch in Keegan's career where he was really aggressive with his shot, and it was his second season. Mm-hmm. His second season, I believe, he had 3 games where he shot 20 times or more, and I'm pretty positive those are the only 3 times he's ever done it. Generally, the most amount of shots he takes in a game is 17. And I don't know what you're looking if you're looking for a primary scorer, or if you're looking for just a guy to be more aggressive as this team starts to develop. What exactly are we looking for when we talk about Keegan Murray's development?
Well, I think it's I don't always concern myself with how many shots a player takes. Sure, the more shots, the better, right? But I've never looked at Keegan as a 25 to 30 point per game score. I think he can get to 18 to 20, but I think it will be in a situation a lot like Cam Johnson, where Cam Johnson averaged 19 a game last year because there's no one else between him and Cam Thomas that were scoring for that team. And I know that isn't super awesome for everybody to hear that, 18 to 20 is kind of the cap that I see for him. But I still see that he can get there. What's he averaging? 15 a game right now? I haven't looked at 15 plus. I would like to see him shoot more. I'd like to see him get more of an opportunity. And I know sometimes you got to go take that opportunity yourself, but this isn't a heavy volume score. That's not how I've ever looked at Keegan. A lot of guards are heavy volume scorers, but outside of that, the elite small forwards that are just straight up scoring forwards, sometimes they're averaging that many shots per game, but I don't see him even as a DeMar DeRozan 17 to 20 shots per game guy, even in a perfect scenario. And I don't think that's a knock on somebody. I just think that that's a style of player that he is. And he's not an ISO player. He's a player who needs movement, who needs the team around him moving. And whatever we're calling this offense right now, it's not it for any of these players. You can't watch it and think that it's actually functioning properly or like a standard offense would. So slightly confused with what they're running and how it brings out the best in anybody, because I don't think it does.
Yeah, we just kind of did that exercise because, the thought process, people have said, oh, man, just get Zach and DeMar out of here, and then he can shoot the way he wants to. And this field goal attempt and lack of aggression, this predates Zach and Lamar. This isn't, or DeMar, excuse me. This isn't necessarily a byproduct of them being on the team. I think it's more so of who Keegan has shown himself to be. It's still a really good NBA player. But for a winning team, if you want Keegan to be part of a winning team, just getting rid of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and letting him shoot 20, 25 times, I don't think that's the player he is. And I'm not sure why people keep asking him to be that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Kenny. I don't think he needs to shoot that many times. I would like to see him shoot 14, 15 times a game for sure. And because I think the Kings would be better if he did, especially if he finds his rhythm from 3. But as of right now, like, look, this team doesn't share the ball very well. It's a big time me offense, and it depends on one night to the next who that person is. As soon as Zach LaVine shows up, Malik Monk disappears, and it's just like one thing after another with this group the entire season. And to be honest, it's because they're relying on individual playmaking as opposed to any sort of offensive scheme. And I don't get it. I don't think it maximizes any one of these players outside of maybe DeMar, who just looks the same no matter what. It's tough. It's a tough watch. And I also, like, if we're talking about when Zach and DeMar are gone, like, Zach and DeMar leave, if you're not replacing them with, if you're just taking back expiring contracts, like, this team is going to win like 20 games a year for a couple of years. Like, you have to have talent. And I've never once said that DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine aren't talented players, that they're not good NBA players. I actually, like, offensively, I've been on the, super impressed when Zach LaVine decides to play the way that he's supposed to play and take over games and stuff. But like, overall, like, this is just a weird collection of players and a weird offensive team, and it leads to really, really poor defense on the at the same time. So yeah,
Numbers don't always tell the whole story, but as we stand right now, since Keegan Murray has come back, or I take this back, for the season, Keegan Murray is second on the team in field goal attempts per game, one below Zach LaVine. Zach is at 15, Keegan Murray's at 14
for this season.
For this
Yeah.
season,
And that I'm assuming just the
DeMar
last
is at
9 games.
13.
Just the last 9 games.
DeMar is at 13.
Those are, to me, they're part of a story. You can feel how you want to. The problem is 26.4.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Like, now Keegan's seasons of being a bad three-point shooter are far outweighing the seasons where he's a good 3-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't. Anyone who says they know who Keegan Murray is, or anyone who says they know what Keegan Murray can be, is lying. Whether it's James Ham, Kenny Caraway, or Scott Perry, you do not know. This man has shown us a little bit of everything. And it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple games ago. He scored 20-something points. And it's like, oh, Domas was out. It's like, all right, boy, let's go. Kings lose, no one cares. Give me that Keegan Murray. Ain't seen anything close to that since. Nothing.
Yeah, he's had a couple of 20-point games. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. It's super frustrating, but like, this team is not functioning well at all as a group. And like, it's not a great place to be for any of them. You're hoping that he grows and that he figures out ways to improve. But again, like, one of the things I'll say, like, if Keegan is ever going to get to 20 points per game, he's got to average more than 1 or 2 free throw attempts per game. He needs to attack the rim. He needs to have the ball in his hands enough that he can attack the rim. And, sometimes it happens, other times it doesn't. But it just feels like there's no consistency at all. Like, again, how is it that Malik Monk, shot 19 times a game, like 3 games ago? In the last 2 games, he shot like 5 times. Like, it's just, you if you're coaching this team, like, Kenny, you brought up that he's got the second most field goal attempts on the team. He's got the second most, but it's 15 and 13.9, but then 13.2 and 13.1 and 11.9 and 11.5 and 10.8. That's too many people shooting 11 times per game. It just is. Like, most good teams have 3 or 4 guys that are around that number, and then the rest of them, 6, 7, 8 shots per game. This team has way too many guys who try to take over and try to think that they can save the day, and then none of them can. And it's like very unfortunate to watch most nights, because even we get to the fourth quarter of the game the other night where, it was right there for the taking. They fought all the way back. And then it's just one guy takes a shot, a different guy takes a shot, different guy takes a shot. Russ forces a couple of balls. and hits him. And so you're watching sort of this weird thing play out. And I just don't know how it's conducive to winning.
Yeah, I understand.
One thing I can say, I'm
No,
sorry.
good.
One thing I will say about Keegan Murray, since at least this year, because I feel like I say this year because I feel like it's an improvement, is he's averaging almost 8 rebounds a night.
Mhm.
You know, the last couple of games when he hasn't scored the ball very well, I think in both games he's had 11 rebounds in those games. So if he could find a way to get more consistent with his shooting and maintain his ability to rebound the way he has the last, really since he's all year long, like he's been a good rebounder all year. That's to me, that's a sign of improvement in his game, being a consistent rebounder.
Yeah, I agree. I think like what we saw last season from him, where a good portion of the year he was around 8 rebounds a game, and then he finished right around 7. He is showing that he's a much better rebounder than I thought he would. He would be at the NBA level. I'd also point out that like he really should be playing small forward. And if he were playing small forward and you had a reasonable rebounding power forward, you would actually have one of the best rebounding teams in the league, if not the best rebounding team in the league. But again, it's just really tough because we haven't seen Domas and Keegan play together, and that's your number one, your number two
That
rebounding
is kind of
guys.
crazy.
Man.
They have not played together one single time this
That's a
season.
trip.
24 games into the season, and they haven't touched the court together, and they're not going to be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, it's super tough. Well, I don't know anytime
Well,
soon.
yeah, I guess that's probably not true. I mean, there's a game tomorrow, there's a game Sunday. That's got to be close to the time frame, right, Hammer?
We're over the 3-week mark. Yeah, it was supposed to be 3 to 4 weeks, and we passed the 3-week mark a couple of days ago. I don't know. I know that we saw Domas on the road trip, which is a good sign. You know, like he was there in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, for that game. In Indiana, I believe he was there too. So that's good.
He was there just to tell Doug that Dennis is questionable.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole.
I think in Houston there was footage of him going through stuff before games.
Who, Dennis?
No, Sabonis.
Oh,
Dennis,
yeah.
I saw Dennis before Houston for sure. But Sabonis, it wasn't like he was sprinting, going crazy, but he's on the floor. He's rehabbing with the team, you know, basketball wise. So hopefully that means he's close.
Yeah, Dennis has been like during the home games, he's gone out on the court every single game, and it looked like he might play. And then, you know, sure enough, we get the announcement that he's not playing. So yeah, to me, it's kind of weird. I've never seen a player be questionable for almost 3 weeks straight. That's not something that typically happens.
Yeah, kind of odd. Kind of odd. If there is any question about what Doug's intentions are with this basketball team, go back and look at that Pacers game again. He played Russell Westbrook 40 minutes. He played the starters so many minutes because they were the ones who cut the deficit, kind of got that thing going again, and you know, took that 4-point lead. And like I admitted, my dumbass, I thought the Kings they're going okay. I don't know how people are going to feel about it, but they're going to win this game because I kept thinking Indiana's not very good by design or otherwise. They're not very good right now. Kings, man, they did everything they had to do. Good for them. It's a hell of a win for them, or this will be a hell of a win for them. And the Pacers said not so fast and kind of blew them out the rest of the way. Like an 11-0 run that was just like, well, all right, damn. But he played, I mean, I know Russ played 40 in that one. I think Zach played 38, 39, 40, somewhere in that vicinity. Doug's coaching to win these games, and if it's with the vets, he's going to do it. If it's with the young guys, he's going to do it. He's going to put what he thinks is the best lineup in that game out there to win him a basketball game.
Yeah, and I'll say too, like one of the issues they have right now with Russ is that, you know, the reason why he's playing so many minutes is because Dennis isn't there. And you sent Devin Carter back home to go play in the G League before that game. That happened before the Indiana game. They shipped him back out after the Miami game. So on Sunday, I think he flew home. And that in itself is a strange thing that I haven't seen a lot of. And then, again, he played last night in the G League. Devin Carter did, and then he'll probably play tonight in the G League. Neat Clifford won't, and Neat Clifford, like expected, is going to be back in Kings uniform tomorrow. And it's always possible that Devin Carter will be too, although I wouldn't expect him to play just because you don't want to play back to back nights. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you, Coach. Doug is coaching like as if he's coaching for his life, which he should be. He should be out there trying to get every win he can. And I know there are a lot of people don't like that idea, but I also I talked to Kyle earlier, and I wanted to get your guys' take on it. It's kind of a bummer, like watching like trade season coming up and looking at the Kings as just straight up a seller, because there are a bunch of players out there that are really good who are available all of a sudden. And, you're looking at New Orleans with Trey Murphy and who's the other dude that they put up on the block, basically, not Zion, but Zion's available too. But Herb Jones.
Herb Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, man, we could like reassemble something here. Like I would still be willing to venture down a road and say, hey, look, it's a bad 25, 30 game start, but what if you could add pieces and try to turn the thing around? And not just maybe you're going to miss this year, but what if you're able to go get a couple of younger guys that, 26, 27, reset your age of your team, give up some picks, which I know makes people uncomfortable, but can you give up a Spurs 2027, a Minnesota pick down the road, and go back in and see if that would be enough to maybe get a couple of those guys out of New Orleans who's looking to bail on their season? Because I don't think, like, the way that this thing has turned so quickly, I just still don't feel like it has to be that way. Like I understand that this is like the way they've started off is bad, and that like recovering this season is virtually impossible. But, if you can keep your 2026 first round pick and you can go get the forwards that you need to make your team better, it does seem to me like there are ways in which you could keep a couple of players on this team and reload, as opposed to just completely, going with the 3 to 5 year plan, which is, again, if Scott Perry's here for a 5-year plan, I would be absolutely shocked. Like, if you can survive a 5-year plan, because it's fine to say it right now, but we all know that the longer you get into a 10-year, the more impatient Vivek Ranadive gets. And again, it's nice to think that way, but you need to figure out a way to get better quick. And I'm not saying like all this, like just go for broke here, but
Sam told us that Scott's telling people it's going to take time.
And
he didn't tell us he's not allowed to do that, but he told the world.
Right.
That.
And with that, James, I'll ask you a question that it might be difficult to answer. We don't have that, whatever, but I'll ask it anyway to you because you're the man. When will we ever see the Kings be buyers again? If the report is correct, that like 3 to 5 years, they want to tear this down like everybody wants them to and everything. We look at the Pelicans. We look at the Wizards. When was the last time the Wizards were buyers? You know what I mean? If we're going through that blueprint, when are they ever going to be buyers in the next 5 to 7 years?
Yeah.
Well, that's the argument that I made with Kyle. I mean, what you have here is a franchise that there are only 3 ways to improve your team: free agency, trade, and draft. And you don't get to participate in one of those. You get to participate in trades, but your trades are always different, right? It's not like they've got a Paul George to go trade for somebody, because they didn't, they can't sign those guys as free agents. Like, there's no way to get free agents to sign here. And you can say, oh, Dennis Schroeder, or the last time that, Scott was here, he got Zebo and what was it? Zebo, George Hill, and Vince Carter. But that's not enough. That's not changing your franchise. Those are status quo players at their age at that point. And then, George Hill was a nice addition until he got here, and then he wasn't. So like if you can only improve through the draft and through trades, number one, you have to have things to trade. And they don't have that outside of draft picks. And number two, that if you're giving up your draft picks, then you don't have anything there either. And the draft is a complete crapshoot. If I'm trying to choose between a 2027 Spurs pick, which is going to probably be in the 20s, and a 2030 Minnesota pick that you don't know where it might be, but there's a good chance it's going to be in the 20s. Like, why would you not take a stab at like trying to reset things as opposed to just a complete teardown? Because a complete teardown is not only is it tough because of the contracts that you have, but it's tough because there's nothing that says that the Kings are going to get a top tier player out of the 2026 NBA draft. Nothing is guaranteed. And that's a really tough 2027. Okay. 2 years from now, you might get a player that will be ready to be a star in 2 to 3 years. That's tough. The guys at the top end of this year's draft are all freshmen. They're all 18, 19 years old. That's it. Like, you can't expect them to walk in the door and save the franchise. We're in year 3 of Victor Wembanyama, and he still hasn't saved their franchise. They're playing really well without him right now. But again, that took other acquisitions. It's just a really, really difficult thing to ask a fan base to wait around again and show patience again when you're the team who literally has ADD. Like,
and James, the interesting thing that you mentioned is you said there's 3 ways to get better as a franchise, and free agent, trades, draft. We eliminate free agency here in Sacramento, at least on that super high degree. Essentially, if some of the things that we're talking about is true, they're eliminating 2 of them. They're eliminating the trade possibility because they don't want to trade any assets to go get a project or somebody they want to take a draft on. So in this case, you're putting almost all your eggs in maybe the riskiest basket. Like the draft might be the riskiest basket because you don't know who these kids are. If you traded for, I'll say Trae Young because he's, I think, the surest bet. At least you know what type of player he is. You know his talent level on the NBA level. I think I know AJ DeBonce's talent level on the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good idea. I don't know, but you're eliminating the free agency and the trade aspect and putting all your eggs in the draft basket. That's risky.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, look, there are a lot of ways to build a team, but most of those ways, I mean, first of all, we can't really look at the Pistons. The Pistons lucked into the top pick in the draft, in a good draft where the top pick ended up being a really, really, really good player. But again, it took 3 years. It took 3 years for Cade Cunningham to be a winning player. So now, or maybe year 4, I don't know, whatever it is, it took forever. But like, how do you build a team? And like, it's an art form, but it's not easy. And there's so many pitfalls. It's crazy. We got to go to break. Sorry.
You talk.
Look at James, professional over there.
You talk about luck. That was the same draft where the Kings were 1 ping pong ball away from the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
Damn.
We'll come back more with our insider from the Insiders. It's James Ham here. We're dealing with KC on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
You guys, we didn't say that.
No.
We didn't say that at all.
That's what I heard.
We're just saying if they don't want to trade any assets or they don't want to take a risk on some of these guys, we don't see them making big-time trades if that's their philosophy.
Well, that and someone said, hey, just trade up for Devonta, whatever his name is. Like, no one's giving up that pick. And you're talking about giving up probably 3 first-round picks to go from 3 to 1 or from 5 to 1. And you can't afford to do that either. But hey, go look at the contracts of Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. And if New Orleans wants to dump contracts and you can package again, you could do something crazy like Dario Saric and DeMar DeRozan and throw in Devin Kevin Carter, and then throw in 2 first-round picks, they might listen because, especially if you can give up other teams' first-round picks, because the Kings' first-round picks are always worth a lot more than everybody else's picks. And if you're looking at multiple offers and one of them includes a Kings first-round pick, maybe you do give up one of your own first-round picks in the future, and you could land forwards and that could, not your 3 forward rotation of Trey Murphy, Keegan Murray, and Herb Jones. Maybe you start Herb Jones at the 2. There are ways to do this that you don't have to just blow the whole entire thing up.
I agree.
And I get somebody says they're not number 1 guys. Okay. Name a number 1 guy that's going to come to Sacramento. And hey, okay, let's say you do that deal. Then let's say you call the Hawks and say, hey, Zach LaVine for Trey Murphy. What do you say?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just think that there are plenty of ways to make this team better. And I get you're off to a horrible start. I get that that Scott Perry wants to put his own stamp on this thing, but I also think that there's a ton there are a ton of ways to to get this thing going the right way without having to go through 5 years of hell with no guarantee that 5 years is going to do anything.
Yeah.
Securing a Carter, the Sabonis rumors for the Bulls have been there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And it's hinged mostly off the idea that the general manager of the Bulls is Lithuanian. I mean, to be honest with you, whether they're interested or not, I don't know, but you're going to take back Vucevic. And again, that's a team that's no good. They were good, and then now they're not again. Oh, no, we suck again.
We're back in. Back here with James Ham, and I have bad news for everybody. We solved absolutely nothing during that commercial break.
No,
World peace. We got it.
I'm
World
not,
peace.
well, more likely to solve that than any issue the Sacramento Kings have. And that was James, you said something there at the end of just kind of a dialogue we were having during the commercial break. It's like, man, you got to hope that there's some way to, to get this thing set up where you don't have to go through 5 years of hell. And I think that's a point that Kenny and I have tried to make, dating back to the off season for those who didn't like this team, talking about maybe is there another way where you don't have to strip this thing down? Be Washington, be the Utah Jazz, be a team of that level of ineptness and just find a way to kind of make, you talked about Trey Murphy and Herb Jones a minute ago. Is there a way to facilitate deals where you get some of these bigger contracts off, but you bring those guys in here and maybe you have a little bit more of a competent basketball team that costs you a little bit less and you're still able to do something through the draft, or you're able to do something, in some sort of other trade and be able to put something together where you don't have a product that is just ass. And the consensus was always, no, dummy, we can't. There is only one way to do this, and we need to strip everything down and start completely over. Well, James, as he pointed out at the end of there's no guarantee that's going to work. You can go through this process, and it's going to be painful, but there is no guarantee it's going to work. And in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, we're like, what's happening?
What's his name? John Travolta, Pulp Fiction. This is visual, sorry.
Very visual. Yeah. That's a meme, though. Everybody can envision the John Travolta meme where he's looking around.
Kenny's visual memes are always a hit.
They're always great.
Do the John Lynch one.
Please don't. Please don't do the John Lynch one. Please don't.
That won't work.
Yeah, there has to be a way for this team to reset, but reset doesn't mean destroy everything that you have and start over. And again, there are a lot of ways to get this thing right. And the fact that you don't have a point guard to build around is a huge issue. I get it. But I also look at other ways in which, what's it going to cost you? I don't know. It could be steep. It could, but like Joe Dumars and Scott Perry have a really close relationship. Make the phone call. Like, why not see if you can improve your team? If he's a seller, like I don't like the Kings are a seller, but they're a seller where like you walk up to somebody's yard sale and they have a whole bunch of just crap on the tables everywhere. But then they have their garage door open and you see some really cool stuff in there. You're like, hey, is that set for sale? No, that's mine. It's like
It's a bunch of crap on the
well, you know what I mean? The yard sales, you drive by slowly. You're like, nope, gonna keep driving there. I don't need a bunch of clothes or 70s decor.
You obviously have never been to an SGA yard sale.
Yeah.
Them SGA yard sales that they showed on Starting Five are a little wild.
Well, that, and I don't live in the Roseville, Rockland metropolitan area where you might get some good yard sales.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Good point.
You live on a hill with a lake in the backyard and an armed security guard who, when I show up to your Christmas party, will casually put their hand on their holster like, who are you here to see? I'm here to see James and Mrs. Ham. What's your name? All right, you got level 2 clearance. Don't get excited. It's out of 10. Keep it moving.
That's right.
I have to tell you something that was happening in the studio. 98 Rock was off the air for like 3 minutes.
Oh.
And I got so close to like getting up and just somebody do something.
You could have told me. I would have told somebody.
Because we can see like all of the stations in front of us and their status of being live on all of that. And like it went off, and normally it just happens for a couple seconds, 10 seconds, whatever.
Yeah.
And like Abe is right there, but he looks like flustered. So I'm like, okay, he knows. So, and then I'm looking this way. No engineer is walking. And I'm like, oh my God, will someone do something? It's not even my radio station, and I'm sick to my stomach. Somebody fix this.
3 minutes is like 3 hours.
Seth wasn't
he
wasn't going he wasn't like going to the studio, and he wasn't doing anything. You know why? Because Seth is wearing a quarter zip today. That's when you do that.
Really?
When you do that, you don't do anything.
Seth
just
is
let
in a
things
I
happen.
don't believe it.
How do you even know he's in a quarter zip? His beard blocks it a quarter
Oh,
zip.
that's a good point. That's a great point. How would you even know Seth is in a quarter zip?
That's right.
The sleeves.
The sleeves.
Oh, excuse me. Sweater, vest.
Oh.
Yeah, I messed that up.
Okay.
Okay, got you. Yeah,
I can't
mean,
I can't
a bubble
visualize
vest.
that either.
Yeah.
I just worry that Abe broke another chair and he's just laying there in the studio.
No, Abe was right in front of me. I assumed something was going wrong and people were coming to help. Then I realized no one has poked their head around the corner. Like, all right, it's been a minute. It's been 2 minutes. All right, man, I'm about to get up and walk down the hall. I can't take this. I've been doing this too long to see a station off the air.
Yeah,
Like
that's not
watching the
good.
Kings play basketball. Something's going wrong, and I need someone to fix it.
You're yelling time out at the screen. Time out! Just throw him into
I know when Doug's
No!
calling out.
No, it's
I know when Doug's calling.
it's
a
not even
timeout.
one of those. Sorry, visual again. It's the pissed off.
Yeah. I've started to think Doug doesn't actually call timeouts anymore. He just walks onto the floor, and the ref knows that's one of those Doug
Yep.
Christie timeouts.
That's right.
Let's give it to Coach right here.
Called it with like the squeak of his shoes or something.
Not good. Not good, man. Not good. And they'll play the Denver Nuggets at the Golden One Center tomorrow for the 14th time this year. And it'll be the first time that Maxime Raynaud starts against Denver. He played fine. He played, I mean, all things considered, he played okay.
Yeah.
The last time they played Denver, and he took on Jokic and Jonas Valanciunas.
I agree. Yeah.
I missed whatever
opinion.
question you may have asked because I froze for 30 seconds.
What? But you didn't froze.
No, he did.
Oh,
It's when he was that's when the freeze broke. He was looking off to the side, and I was trying to downplay it. It didn't dawn on me that James can't hear what I'm saying when he freezes.
Was it an official? Was it a 5 second?
I don't think it was. I think we were more in the 3 second variety, and Seth just walked by in his bubble vest, and now I get it.
That's why nothing was being done. Bubble vests are not effective.
Hammer,
wardrobes.
yeah. Hammer, I mentioned Maxime Raynaud is going to have his work cut out for him tomorrow night at the Golden One Center with JV and Jokic on the other end of that 5 position.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a game where, it's just about learning and becoming better every time you step on the court. And I think Max is doing that, and I really like what I'm seeing from him. But at the same time, like, you have to have realistic expectations. That is, it's a huge front line. And, it's not just that you're dealing with like a 4-time MVP. It's that once he steps off the court, maybe 3-time. What is he, a 3 or 4? Once he steps off the court, though, you have like just the ultimate bruiser behind him. And so that's what this is about for Max. It's about learning and getting better, and using the skill set that you have to combat what they're doing. Like Jonas Valanciunas doesn't want to go out in the perimeter and guard him, and neither does Jokic. So get him in pick and roll actions. Do what they were like him and Russ are trying to develop this chemistry as a pick and roll duo. And again, I think for right now, Max is he's a little all over the board. He's just sloppy with everything that he's doing. And I don't even think it's like his numbers aren't inefficient, but his use of energy is inefficient. It's kind of like when you I don't know if you ever notice this, but if you ever watch like people run a marathon, they don't hammer their arms like a sprinter because you burn all your energy, right? You're supposed to keep your arms cool and along your sides. And it's the same thing. Like Max is just wasting all this energy by being too all over the place and frantic. And eventually he'll calm down. And I think we're seeing like he's getting better and better and better every game. But it's also why you shouldn't be relying on a 2nd round pick in his rookie season to play 30 plus minutes a night. And you have to, because he gives you the best option at this point. And I did not think I would say that. But like he's a much better option right now than Drew Eubanks. And that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. What you think is going on with Malik Monk?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like that he didn't play in the second half. Because unless he got hurt, that tends to make me believe that maybe he said something at halftime that someone didn't like. And I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I think everybody handles losing differently. And, like when you're coaching, Kenny, like some kids get in the car and they're just crying the whole way home. Some kids are angry and they don't want to talk to anybody. Some kids act like nothing happened and they just, something bad just happened to somebody else and they're ready to go stop at McDonald's on the way home. And you just never know. But like the more I hear, like Malik doesn't like losing and doesn't like losing in this way. And that can, again, he's a live wire. We all know that. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And sometimes that's not okay. Sometimes that can be a little over the top. And, like I don't think he's doing some of the things that we heard with DeMarcus Cousins, like, screaming and yelling at Jimmer Fredette at halftime of a preseason game or anything. But I do think that like sometimes Malik doesn't have an off button, and that might be part of what's going on right now. And it could just be that he's not hitting his shots at all, and he's going through one of those Malik stretches where, you can't leave him out there if he's not going to be making the shots.
Yeah, I wonder if everything Hammer just said tells the story on how the front office feels about Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Because the fan base adores him. He seems to, the last couple of games have been really tough, but he gives, it feels like 100% energy out there. Like there is a reason this fan base feels the way that they do about him. He can be a shot maker. He just seems like a guy you want to have on your basketball team. And man, I mean, Scott Perry hadn't even had the inauguration yet before it was like, oh, I don't think he wants him here. Like he seemed to be I was gonna say he seemed to be over the idea of Malik Monk quick. He was never in on the idea of Malik Monk. It felt like, and I wonder if it's because of all of the reasons that Hammer just laid out right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out in the end. But like being around Malik enough, and I think we all have that friend who's just always on and is a huge personality. And when things are good, that's awesome. They're super fun. They're the life of the party. When things are bad, sometimes they aren't the life of the party. Sometimes it gets a little too much. And so, again, I think it's probably more about losing and all that stuff. But also, like, frustration should be high with this team. Like, the last thing you should be is ambivalent to winning, is just giving in and saying, oh, we're 6-18. We just got to get through the next 58 games or whatever it is. I mean, could you even imagine just like, man, we got to coast this thing in. It's like,
almost there, guys.
You got 120 miles to go and you have a 16th of a tank. You're not coasting in. That's not happening. Yeah, it's gonna get uglier if they don't make changes and if they don't snap out of whatever funk they're in.
You know what I was thinking about the other day as he was having a fantastic game, having another triple-double, adding one to the total. Do you think Russell Westbrook stays here the whole year? You think he ends up getting traded?
No, I don't. I think he stays here the whole year. Yeah, I mean, like, look, and if he wants to be this guy for a couple of years here, okay. Especially if, you do make a move and Malik Monk is on the way out the door. I'd also say, like, look, players hear all the stuff that's out there. Maybe that's part of the Monk situation too, that he knows that things are about to fire up again. And, December 15th is just around the corner. And we see these reports that are so pointed. It's like the Kings are going to listen on DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis and Keon Ellis. Notice that Malik Monk's name wasn't in there. Yeah, I think he knows that his name is in there and that he saw the same thing we saw this offseason. And he does love it in Sacramento. He loves golfing. He's got a baby here. And, you think that this might be somewhere that he would settle down and just be here for a long time. And I think with players, it gets really frustrating when that might not be the case, when you might have to uproot your family and go somewhere else. I've seen players come through who, they get traded at the deadline and they don't get to see their kids for like 45, 50 days because there's no way to get them to where you are and you're staying in a hotel and, it's just too much. And it, like, these things, they wear on players. And, I've told you guys a couple of times just about how, like a player like Marcus Thornton used to just wear it so bad, like come trade season. Well, trade season's already here for this team and they know it. This isn't, waiting until the last week of January and getting a little nervous because things might be happening. Like, this team all knows that, like, they have bright, like, orange stickers on them that say their price tag. And that's just, it's not fun to be part of that, to be, feeling like at any moment that some of these guys own houses here. Some of these guys have, like, established roots here. That some of these guys are the pizza guy and have television commercials. Like, it's tough. It's a tough world they live in. And I know we all look at it from the outside. But really a lot of times they're like a goldfish that, someone just keeps tapping on the glass. And it's not fun to be the one inside that's like, man, would you stop, like, just stop trying to get my attention? Cause it's like, it's really loud in this fishbowl.
It seems, Hammer, with that line of thinking, and it's perfectly fair, and I think you're 100% right, it's going to get worse. Like, Hammer, it's December 10th. Like,
yeah, just wait till
2 months away.
Just wait till they trade some of your friends, and then you're still stuck there. And you're like, oh no, it's going to get worse. Yeah, not easy.
Man, it's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing I think that
I feel like we're going to be analyzing freaking body language and engagement levels.
me and LeBron,
well,
we're gonna be doing that with Drew Eubanks.
well, I don't know if that's true. I don't know that I'm going to be evaluating the body. Boy, Drew Eubanks he didn't look really into it today. I don't know.
One thing I did notice the other day that I was not a fan of, and then they kind of corrected it, was when the Kings were making that run, I believe in the third quarter. I think this is how it went down. Don't quote me. But I didn't see the bench up. I did not see that, and that bothered me. Like they're making a run.
I see.
They're trying to come back, and they go back on the other side, and everybody just kind of sitting down.
Yeah.
Later, I think more in the fourth quarter, I saw the bench up, and they were still standing after like a Russ fade or something like that, and I felt a little better about it. But I don't know. It's just one of those things I try to look at to see if everybody's engaged as a team. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see that a lot on Monday night.
Yeah, that's interesting. Again, when it's a season like this where it's like, oh no, here we go again. I guess sometimes you can lose that sort of energy. And, a couple of years ago, it was Mason Jones coming, jumping off the bench and going crazy all the time. Sometimes you need that. You need just a rah-rah guy that's sitting there that like everyone else is like, okay, well, he's up, he's clapping. We probably should be too, because if not, television cameras are going to catch us over here sulking while our teammates are playing way better than we did. So it's a tough world. Again, you're in a fishbowl. But I don't know. Like, you should always be cheering on your teammates no matter what, unless they're all on Tankathon looking at the draft odds and saying, no, don't do it. We need help.
I think there might have been some doing that, but I think a lot of them were in Pacers uniforms.
Yeah, and they're going to talk about we need help. And that person next to them going to be like, we?
What do you mean we?
You ain't going to be here, fool.
What are you talking about? We need help.
You need help. James,
It's not me, it's you. Go ahead.
I need you to stop being a Scrooge. Come on, man. It's the Lakers and the Spurs tonight. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a little NBA Cup action. Come on, Hammer.
I mean, maybe I'll watch it. Is Wembanyama playing?
No.
He was
okay.
ruled out. Yeah. He was ruled out yesterday. Castle's playing. Dylan Harper's playing.
I was about to say, De'Aaron's not box office.
NBA Cup is on the line. Well, not on the line, but the chance to get
Trip
to
to
the
Vegas.
championship.
Trip to Vegas is on the line.
Yeah.
No, these are the quarters. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The semis are there. That's right.
Trip to
We've been over
Vegas.
this 15 freaking times. The semis are still in Las Vegas this year.
All right.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Come on, Hammer. Lock in.
That's fine. Like, okay. I just, I want the days off back. That's what I want. Like, give them the days off back. That way we're not dealing with crappy basketball because half the players are hurt. Like,
Sweetie, the Kings have had God knows how many days off, and I don't know how great their basketball. Well, I mean, they played pretty well versus Miami, so you give them that.
There's a gang of teams with the same schedule, and they find a way to win.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're not
James.
like us, Kenny. They're not like us.
James, tap in and watch LeBron's body language. That's what Kenny's watching for. He's watching to see if LeBron high fives Luka at any point during the game.
Does he say anything the entire game?
Does he look in Luka's direction at any point during the game? Does he shoulder bump JJ Redick on the way to a timeout?
Possibly.
He just found a new podcast partner. I find that hilarious. He's like, "Oh, JJ's done. All right, Steve, what you doing, man? Gotcha. Drink wine and talk basketball.
Yeah.
Talk to Steph Curry.
That's right.
So that's
that would be a good pod. Yeah.
That is
Steph.
a pod, right?
Yeah.
Steph. Yeah, Steph.
Well, they said they got Steph sick. That's
right. Yeah. That's right.
Gave him bad wine. Got him sick.
Did they also get Kuminga sick? Just wondering. Asking for a friend.
I don't know. Steve Kerr got him
Steve
sick.
Kerr. Yeah, Steve Kerr
He's
is
sick of.
Sick. Yeah, that's it. Steve Kerr is sick of Jonathan Kuminga. I think everyone associated
vice
with the
versa.
Golden State Warriors is sick of Jonathan Kuminga, except one.
Look, and vice versa.
Yeah,
He don't want to be there.
Facts.
He didn't want to be there this summer.
He's gonna call. Hey, I got COVID, guys. I can't make it in. I got COVID. It's a bad one too.
Just can
Stay
drive up
away.
to Sacramento and watch their game. Is that okay?
Oh, that'd be a strong passive aggressive move. That would be a strong sit next to Vivek. That
I remember
Game 7. Remember that?
Kyrie was in Sacramento for a game one time.
Game
It was
7.
like, isn't he
Against the
sitting
Warriors.
there on the sidelines? Like, what is he doing here?
He wanted to come play.
Wanted to
but
watch who?
All
That's
right.
it. It's OKC and Phoenix tonight. Lakers and Spurs as well. We'll talk about it all tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. with the Insiders here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Vamos, Michigan. Go blue. We're back, baby.